This story is a testament to the idea that your bloodline is not easily snuffed out. As long as you do not dilute or confuse or conflict your body with the artificial means in order to satiate a primal desire like the need for reproduction. So I need to be humbled. Semen retention got me experience what it's like to be an attractive girl. I've been retaining for 56 days now, and 2 days ago I went into my university, and on the way, people kept staring at me as I walked past. I think I went through how a pretty girl experiences life. There is this really interesting maturity process, especially for women. Of course, I can't, especially in this life, comment anecdotally on that. But I have had female friends and girlfriends in the past that have explained this to me how, let's call it pre puberty, they are not getting the attention that they need, especially when other girls maybe to start develop a little bit earlier in their years, and then they start to go through this phase. The hormones start to change, their figure, their entire figure starts to change, and essentially biology is just signaling to the environment, to men, that hey, I'm now in a position where I'm fertile. We are not so divorced from the animal kingdom, and we can learn a tremendous amount on how the innate qualities of attraction function in this tandem with this idea of just being fertile and ready to produce offspring. Then at the library, two girls stared at me as they walked in and sat next to me when the whole library was empty. They continued to stare and peek at me. At first, just like every other man, my ego pretty high. And then I started to get creeped out. Then, as I was leaving, I asked them, "Hey, you two okay? You have been, staring at me. You have been mean mugging me or whatever." Then they said yes, very abruptly. The reason they were staring was because my skin looked so good, verbatim dragging out the. So you've got these indicators of interest. As a lot of the people in the PUA community would use these terms to describe signs of attraction. So happy as hell, I went to Starbucks with my mate, and everybody and a lot of girls of various ages were there. Kept looking at me, which I returned with a few seconds of eye contact and a smile. Eventually, one Spanish girl, or whatever, be careful, the Latina is my friend, came up to me, said in English, "Can I get your number?" I gave it to her, and we've been like talking for some days. Then I'm really not that interested. In short, the point or premise of this post is to conclude that semen retention benefits aren't a placebo, and the dark part of me wanted to gatekeep this as it didn't change anything else in my lifestyle. I also need to be humbled by other individuals in the community who are sensitive to this particular phenomenon. So, as I mentioned in the preface, all this really is, and I think a lot of people who will maybe dismiss this and you can get angry at me, whatever, that's completely fine. And although I do find people who get angry at me are usually the individuals who are most addicted to this material of porn and fapping and have never anecdotally experienced what I am saying. People literally go from, or like men, I should say, literally go from feeling invisible. Nobody's acknowledging them to the complete antithesis of this. Everybody's staring at you. You become that attractive girl, puberty, post puberty, or you start to signal the environment. And when I mean environment, I mean women in proximity. That you're fertile, that you are able to have offspring, and that goes in tandem with the point that I prefaced with this idea that you are just more fertile. You just are signaling that you have an abundance of life in your body, and you are now at the stage in your biological season whereby you can produce offspring at a greater level than any other man. And with all of this, I say, don't take my word for it. Science is very young. Science can offer us a lot in this respect. And there is a lot of science credence to support some of the things that I'm saying. namely some of my other videos, namely some of my the books that I've written on, or the subject. I have not really written books, it's just something. Masculine gene expression and overall fertility. And I hope with things like I believe I read actually somewhere in the news that pornography, adult material, is actually becoming, well, not illegal in the UK or in India and the States, but it's requiring age verification. There are some ways around this, VPNs and some of the other websites that don't subscribe to. I'm sure that the parameters in which the Indian government is now censoring this kind of material, but my hope ultimately for this is that you will experience it for yourself. I do believe that science in the next 1,000 or whatever years, hopefully shorter than that, is going to come to a similar conclusion as what people experience in their life in respect to fertility. This is a response from the body subconsciously. It's below the neck. If you don't eat for a long period of time, your body makes changes in order for you to acquire food. If you don't reproduce, if you don't experience the ecstasy of orgasm and ejaculation, your body perceives it as you being unsuccessful in the sexual marketplace. And therefore, similar changes are made in order to meet that particular need. But most people never experience it because, as I prefaced, the market is perverse in its supplication of so many artificial means to meet that need. Artificial sexual experience, artificial food, like it even if you don't find any credit in in some of the things I'm saying. People who have gone for extensive fasts understand that there is a power, there is an intelligence to the body that they never realized because they have been used to that habit of eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. When I went, I did a 5-day fast last year, but I remember the first time where I did 4 days. On the second day, I thought I was genuinely dying. I thought I was being poisoned. I thought I wasn't going to be able to make it, and that kind of mental block that you experience, it's so intense, it's so over, cumbersome, because you kind of break past this mental barrier of thinking, I cannot do this, I'm not programmed to do this is not a natural way, it goes against all of my belief systems and everything that I've ever known. But after that second day, the energy that I had was incredible. The clarity of thinking I had was remarkable. The strength I had was unbelievable because I hadn't eaten in 3 days. So it's like this program that you have relied on for all your life. I am thinking this is how reality unfolds, just starts to crumble and dissipate, and it's replaced with a new one. Like, I'm not in this alone. I don't need to rely purely on the information that I'm interpreting through my senses. But there's an intelligence actually in the body. It's like I always, and I coined this term, you have a biological wingman, a wingman that will support you in your endeavors to resource food through the remarkable effects of fasting. And equally, you have more appropriately a biological wingman in the form of, well, if I'm being unsuccessful in the dating market, and that is being interpreted by the body's lack of sexual release. The body is going to start to make changes in order to meet that particular need. But don't take it from me, do it yourself. Theories, facts, you decide. See you in the next one.